जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यालयप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद शुद्धरचितश्रीमान् भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालयप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद शुद्धरचितश्रीमान् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालयप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद शुद्धरचितश्रीमान् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालयप्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गौर किशोरदास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्यालयप्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यालयप्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुग गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री गोपाल भट्ट रघुनाथ चार गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंद गौर प्रसाद वृंद की जय। नाम श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All right, let's do the Mangala Charan. 1 second. On all the Śaraṇāgati kirtans of Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. His Kalyana Kalpataru Gitavali and Gita Mala ki jai. All right. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Kodiya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Bharati Mingilo Daragatan Udrita Jiva Niman Krishna Prema Sudabdika Hana Sukham Pradat Prabhung Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaur Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanidim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaur Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaur Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishabhanusutan Vitavamatanum Yamuna Tatanagarananda Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinora Param Bhajagodrumakanana Kunja Vidam Smaragora Gadadara Keli Kalam
Bhavagoragadadhara pakshachara Shrinu Gauragadadhara Charukatam Vajagodrumakanana Kunja Vidhum Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihinaya Parada Lakshai Kshiptascha Kamadittaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Gavin Myers, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Sri Devi Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Archana Didi, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji. Let's check on YouTube and Facebook who is all there. Vidyalala Sidiri, and there's somebody else, but I don't see your name because there isn't a comment. But yeah, pranams everybody. All right, so like all the other programs, I'm not prepared at all, so we'll just kind of see what happens. um, yeah, I started finding quotes like the last 10 minutes before I started this thing. I found some quotes from my Gurudev's books, maybe from my Gurudev also. I can't actually remember what quotes I found. And also from Srila Bhakti-pratikūla Goswami Maharaj, I found a couple things. And then also I thought maybe we could read through Prapanna Jivanamrita by Srila Bhakti-raksha Goswami Maharaj. He compiled so many verses all from scriptures, the words of Bhagavan, the words of his devotees, and just words of the scriptures on the topic of Śaraṇāgati for each limb of Śaraṇāgati. So we can go through the verses that he compiled on the topic of Bhakti-pratikūla, all the things that are giving up all the things that are unfavorable for bhakti. So that's the anga of Śaraṇāgati that we're on. The limb of Śaraṇāgati is, and we're going over this same kirtan that we went over yesterday. We ran out of time yesterday, so I didn't get to explain the words. So I'm going to do that today. So our program is divided into every day. Our program is divided into 4 parts. First, the glories of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Then we go to the Prapanna Jivanamrita verse by Srila Bhakti-raksha Goswami Maharaj, the definition verse. And then we read some words of our acharyas on the topic of the song that we're singing. And then we go through the song. So let's begin with first part. Hare Krishna, Sarveshwari Mataji. And Champak Mataji, Hari. Oh, and Sri Devi, I already saw you. Okay, Hari. Okay, so let me open this up. Bhaktivinoda, how does it go? Bhaktivinoda-gīti-dhārā. Oh, it's not there. I think we did up to verse 13 yesterday, if I remember correctly. Yes. All right. So I'm just going to read the verses that we went over yesterday. Those who are nourished by the flow of your affection are the current of your conceptions, are the residents of Goloka Vrindavan while on this earth. Distributing the beautiful nectarian current of Sri Nam, they extinguish the forest fire of material existence. You are eternal reality beyond time, sporting in transcendence. Thus, you are completely incomprehensible to the conditioned souls. How shall I describe the nature of separation from you? The desire to do so is like a lame person's desire to cross a mountain. I am extremely weak, devoid of the strength of pious action and devoid of the strength of knowledge, nor do I know what is bhakti. May the dust of your lotus feet and the water that has washed your lotus feet, which deliver the universe, be my means and support. Okay, so now these are the verses we're going over today. I'll do 2 verses today. Okay. Who will understand the gravity of your nature and your intense attachment to that Sri Krishna who belongs only to Sri Radha? Even if it takes millions and millions of births, please make me a rightful candidate of this understanding. This is my petition at your 2 lotus feet. Actually, we'll just do this 1 verse today. It's so beautiful. Just turning off noise suppression. Right. Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla Shri Gora Svajan Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla Shri Gora Svajan বুঝিবে তোমার গম্ভীর স্বভাব শ্রী রাধার কৃষ্ণে গাঢ় অনুরাগ কোটি কোটি জনে করো দয়া ভাগ কোটি কোটি জনে করো দয়া ভাগ তব পর যুগে এ নিবেদন ও তব পর যুগে এ নিবেদন কোথা ভক্তি বিনোদ শ্রী গৌর স্বজন কোথা ভক্তি বিনোদ শ্রী গৌর স্বজন. All right, so now we will go through this, the Prapanna Jivanamrita definition. Actually, no, first let's go through, because we're going to read directly from Prapanna Jivanamrita. So now we will read some words on the topic of Bhakti-pratikūla from our acharyas. Oh, and was anybody else able to find any quotes for me? The reason why I asked everybody if they could find a quote on the topic of Bhakti-pratikūla is because I thought I wouldn't get time to do it. And yeah, I didn't really get time to do it. But anyhow, these are some things. If anybody has anything to share, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just read this, what I could find in the last 12 minutes or so. Okay. Okay, so this is from Gopi Geet. This is my Gurudev's commentary. I think it's on the verse Trinacharānugam. So Krishna made... God, this is... You need to see the context. I don't even remember the context. Anyhow, whatever. So he says, my Gurudev says, Krishna may then offer another argument. He says, your hearts, he's speaking to the gopis, your hearts contain many sinful qualities, such as malice, the desire for sensual enjoyment, and so on. By my touching your bodies, these faults will immediately... No, actually, I don't... Actually, no, let's go to a different one, because I'm not sure how much this is related to Bhakti-pratikūla. It's a bit related, but I think there's better ones. Okay. So this is from my Gurudev's class that he gave in Hong Kong, July 2nd, 2006. What would be the use of accepting God if he has no mercy or attributes, if he is like zero? We do not wish to accept such fallacious ideas. Without selfish motive, we desire that whatever we do to please Krishna. We are advised to consider, what I am going to do, will it please Krishna or not? Will it please my Gurudev? In Bhakti Yoga, we consider, only if our endeavors please them will we perform those acts. We will strongly reject whatever is unfavorable for advancement in bhakti. This is Bhakti Yoga, and it begins from its smallest fraction, called Shraddha, faith. Now, here are some quotes from Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj from the book Art of Sadhan. And this is all on the topic of remain always in the association of devotees, always reject the association of non-devotees. So, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj says, the result of bad association is that one does not get free of material desire. When one's mind is overcome with elation and disappointment resulting from attachment to the sense objects, how can something as pure as Krishna Prem find a place there? Or as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, Bhukti Mukti Adi Vancha Jadi Mone Hoy Sadhan Korile Prem Utpanna Na Hoy. If desires for sense enjoyment and liberation find a place in a devotee's heart, all his practice of devotional activities will not result in love for Krishna. That's from the Madhya Lila, chapter 19, verse 175. Amongst the various practices of devotional service, the chanting of the holy names has pride of place? I think that must be a mistake. Anyways, okay. Those who have other desires and are trapped in the company of non-devotees, however, may chant for thousands of lifetimes without ever attaining the goal of love for Krishna. Therefore, Jagadananda Pandit wrote, he said, Asadu sangete bhai nama nahi hoy, namakshar bahirai, bate nama kabu noy, kabu nama bhasa sada hoy nama parad. E shab janibe bhai Krishna bhaktir bhada, jadi koribe Krishna nam sadhu sanga koro, bhukti mukti siddhi vancha dure pariharo. He says, oh brothers, you cannot chant the holy name in the association of non-devotees. The sounds of the holy name may come out of your mouth, but it will not really be the name. It will sometimes be the name's reflection, namabhas, and sometimes offensive chanting, nam aparad. But brother, you should know that in either case, this kind of chanting interferes with the attainment of pure devotion to Krishna. If you want to chant the holy names, then associate with devotees and keep desires for sense enjoyment, liberation, and yogic powers at a distance. That's from Prem Vivarta chapter 7. And now here are some verses from what? Maybe this is also from... I'm not going to read the Bengali because I don't want to take too much time. But Dasha aparada tyaja mana apaman anasakte vishay bhunja ar loho krishnanam. I think this is also from Prem Vivarta. He says, give up the 10 offenses to the holy name, as well as worrying about receiving respect or criticism. Consume what you need without attachment, and always chant the holy name. Accept everything which favors devotion to Krishna, and reject everything which interferes with its practice. Abandon any efforts for liberation or mystic power, as well as devotion mixed with karma. Above all, give up the false renunciation of the monkeys. Monkey renunciation. Monkeys, they seem like they're very renounced. They don't wear any clothes. They don't have any possessions. They live on trees, like they don't have any fixed residence. They seem like full-on aesthetics, but what do they spend all their time doing is just looking for, stealing things to eat and enjoying with, monkeys are definitely not sadhus. So renunciates. So above all, give up false monkey renunciation, in which bodily consciousness and attachment to sense gratification dwell. Remain strong in the knowledge that Krishna is always taking care of you. Offer yourself to Krishna completely, and in humility, become free from all entanglements. It is very difficult for an ordinary person to find the association of genuine saintly persons. Krishna himself knows this, and so he kindly came to Nadia in the form of a saintly devotee. An intelligent person takes shelter of Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, for such a person knows that other than Mahaprabhu, there is no true saint or spiritual master. Okay, the only way to be free of bad association is thus by replacing it with good association. This is a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadhu Sangha Kripa Kim Va Krishner Kripai Kamadi Dushanga Chari Shuddha Bhakti Pai. Either through the benediction of devotional service or through the mercy of Krishna himself, one becomes free of the bad association resulting from lust, anger, and greed, and attains pure devotional service. That's from Madhya Lila chapter 24, verse 97. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 1:10-11. Sat Sangam Mukta Dusango Hatum Nut Sahate Buddha Kirtyamanam Yasho Yasya Sakrid Akarna Rochanam. Once freed from bad association by keeping the company of the saintly, an intelligent person becomes reluctant to give up listening to the glories of the Lord, which are so pleasing, even if only heard once. Srimad Bhagavatam also says, this is from the 11th canto, chapter 26, verse 26. This is a famous verse. Tato dusangam utsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman santa evasya chindanti mano vyasangam uktibi. An intelligent person should therefore abandon all bad association and hold fast to the company of devotees. Such devotees are the only ones who, through their instructions, can cut through our unhealthy mental attachments. One has to be attentive in avoiding the association of the opposite sex and non-devotees. But if one remains in good company, the dangers of the world disappear. Thus, Narottam Das sings in his Prem Bhakti Chandrika, what can lust, anger, and greed do to the practitioner who has the association of saintly persons? Okay, and now this is from a poem that Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj wrote in glorification of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. I just took a few verses. He said, at the time of his disappearance, my Prabhu, he's referring to Srila Prabhupada, my Prabhu called all his disciples together and spoke to them with tears flowing from his eyes. As soon as he disappeared, however, I became blind to the powerful teachings he gave us on that occasion. How do the devotees manage to survive when overwhelmed by separation from Guru and Gauranga? While singing and hearing their names, qualities, and pastimes, tears run ceaselessly down their cheeks. They reflect upon all Srila Prabhupada's philosophical teachings and instructions about devotional practice, and take great care to follow them. They accept whatever is favorable to devotional service, and reject all that is unfavorable. They give up all other desires. They give up all other desires and the practices of karma, yoga, or gyan. They engaged in unmixed devotion, culturing consciousness of Krishna with a favorable attitude. This is the topmost bhakti, the essence of our Lord's teaching. The truly loving devotees cultivate this conception, placing it like a garland around their necks. I have not accepted any of Srila Prabhupada's discipline. I have become a black sheep amongst his disciples. Having no faith and devotion for my spiritual master, I simply make a show of attachment to him. Wow. Srila Bhaktivinoda-gīti-dhārā Maharaj's humility is just it's very rare to ever find. Very unparalleled, really. But yeah, I thought this is a nice point here. This is... How do the devotees manage to survive when overwhelmed by separation from Guru and Gauranga? They reflect upon all of Srila Prabhupada's philosophical teachings and instructions about devotional practice and take great care to follow them. They accept whatever is favorable to devotional service and reject that which is unfavorable. They give it, but it's all done based on wanting to please. And so if we're just trying to give up different things that are unfavorable for bhakti just because we're supposed to and like that, it's a lot more, it's not very difficult and there's no mood in it. It's just, it's just very cold, fighty, like that. But if we think my Gurudev will be pleased if I give up, my Gurudev won't be very happy with me if I watch this YouTube video right now. He'll be pleased if he sees me instead watch something watch a class of his or something like that. If we think about what is pleasing to our Gurudev or pleasing to the Vaishnavas, any Vaishnavas that are dear to us and like that, then there's a lot more sweetness in giving up all these unfavorable things. And we don't just give up unfavorable things, but we've just been reading a whole bunch of things, how we're supposed to hold on to those things which are favorable. So, there needs to, the positive thing needs to be there. So what time is it? It's 7:30. Okay, I think we can go on for another 10 minutes. No, let's do 7 minutes. We'll go through Srila Bhakti-Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj's Prapanna Jivanamrita. So, Pratikūla Vivarjanam, rejection of the unfavorable, things that are unfavorable for bhakti. So here's the definition verse that he wrote, Srila Bhakti-Pramod Goswami Maharaj. Bhagavad Bhaktayor Bhakte Prapatte Pratikulake Varjatve Nishchaya Prati Kulya Varjanam Uchyate. The principle to reject everything opposed to the service of the Lord and his devotee, and to similarly abstain from everything opposed to an attitude of surrender, is known as Pratikulya Vivarjanam, rejection of the unfavorable. And so the first example he gives is from Shikshashtakam, the second verse of Shikshashtakam. Not the second verse, the fourth verse. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagarisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatar bhaktir ahaituki tvai. And he says, Srila Goswami says, this is Pratikulya Varjanam Sankalpa Adarsha. This is the ideal and the resolve to reject the unfavorable. So Mahaprabhu says, O Lord of the universe, I have no desire for wealth or worldly promotion, nor do I desire wife, family, and society, nor do I desire for Vedic religiosity or mundane scholarship. The only aspiration in my heart is that in my every birth, I may have unmotivated devotion to you. Okay, I'm not going to read the Sanskrit now. I'm just going to read translations. So this is from a prayer from Sri Kulashekar. A similar expression of the same ideal. O Lord, I have no faith in religiosity, economic development, or sense enjoyment. May all these things come to pass as they are ordained, according to my previous karma. But my earnest prayer is that birth after birth, I may have unflinching devotion to your lotus feet. And now here's a verse by the demigods, prayers from the demigods. And the note is, everything devoid of a relationship with Lord Hari should be rejected. So the demigods say, one should not reside wherever the river of nectarian tidings of Krishna does not flow, wherever Krishna's surrendered devotees cannot be found, and wherever the grand festival of chanting Krishna's holy name is not conducted, even if it is heaven. This is demigods talking. So even if it's where we are. Okay. Now this is from the prayers of Sri Rishabhadev. Srila Sridhar Goswami says, when the traditional guru and guardians are found to be unfavorable, they too must surely be abandoned. One who cannot save other souls from the world of impending death, that is, one who cannot teach the path of devotion, he cannot be a teacher, although he may be called a guru, so-called guru. He cannot be a relative. He is not worthy of the designation. He cannot be a father. He is not qualified to beget a son. She cannot be a mother. She should not bear a child. He cannot be a god. The demigods who cannot deliver others from material bondage are not entitled to accept worship from human society. And he cannot be a husband. His hand is not fit to accept in marriage. This is a famous verse. Gurur nasasyat, swajano nasasyat, pita nasasyat, janani nasasyat, daivam natatsyan, na patishtasasyan, na mochayedya, samupetam mrityum. Okay. Now this is from Sri Kulashekar. By means of all the senses. Kulashekar says, O Madhav, let me not see the unvirtuous persons who are devoid of devotion to your lotus feet, and let me not hear the narratives which do not describe your divine personality. O Lord of the universe, may I never have any contact with those bereft of faith in you, and moreover, lifetime after lifetime, may I never be without the company of your associates who are devoted to your loving service. And now here's a prayer by Sarvagya. Srila Sridhar Goswami says, one should also be indifferent towards commonly respected objects. So Sarvagya says, O Lord, your devotee sees the ocean to be as insignificant as a palm full of water, the sun as a glowworm, Mount Sumeru as a pebble, a king as a servant, a wish-fulfilling gems as rocks, and desire-yielding tree as wood, worldly aspirations as straw. And he even sees his own body as a trifling weight to carry. He knows all objects unfavorable to devotion as trivia. Trivia or trivial? Anyways. Okay, yeah, it's trivia. That is the right word. Okay. This is from now Katyayan. What time is it? 7:38. Okay, we still have a couple more minutes. A realization of the result of associating with those who are averse to the Supreme Lord Hari. One should endure the pain of being locked in a cage surrounded by blazing fire, rather than keep the distressing association of persons averse to Krishna consciousness. Wow, that's a heavy one. Okay. And then this one's just from an unknown author. The actual position of the worshippers of other gods. Better to be embraced by a snake, a tiger, or a crocodile than to suffer the agony of associating with persons who worship the various demigods. Okay, this is from Srila Rupa Goswami. We went over this yesterday. Atyahara prayashascha prajalpaniyam magraha. Personal defects that obstruct devotion must be forsaken. I'm going to skip this because we went over it in so much depth yesterday. Now, this is from... It says from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Niskinchanasya bhagavar bhajanon mukhasya param param jigamishor bhavasagarasya sandarshanam vishayinam atayoshitangscha ha hanta hanta vishabhakshanato pyasadu. The severe adversity of female companionship. Alas, for a renunciate who desires to completely cross over the ocean of mundanity and engage in the divine loving service of the Supreme Lord, to ogle a materialist and a woman is more wicked than drinking poison. That's for a renunciate. Yes. Now this is from Yagika Vipranam. This is from the sacrificial brahmanas. Esteem for elevated birth and culture of a person averse to Lord Hari is unfavorable to devotion. So the sacrificial brahmanas say, our three births, seminal, how do you say that word? Investiture, and investiture with the sacred thread. That means being invested with the sacred thread, right? And sacrificial, that means Shokya, Savitra, and Daiksha. So our three births are condemned. Our vow of chastity is condemned. Our profuse knowledge of the our profuse knowledge of the scriptures is condemned. Our lineage is condemned, and our proficiency in prescribed religious rites is condemned. All is lost because we have become averse to the transcendental Supreme Lord. So these are the husbands of the Yagyapatnis, right? Who gave, yes. The mentality of considering mundane objects to be conscious elements is unfavorable. Okay, so this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridatuke swadhi kalatradishu bhoma ijyadhi yat tirtha buddhi salile nakarhichij janesh vabhigyeshu sa eva gokara. One who considers his gross body to be himself, but does not identify himself with a devotee of the Lord, who considers wife, family, and associated paraphernalia to be his possessions, yet does not feel affection or attachment to a devotee of the Lord, who considers a graven image of earth or other substance to be God, yet does not conceive of the worshipable position of a devotee of the Lord, who considers some river or lake to be a holy place of pilgrimage, yet does not perceive a devotee of the Lord to be the abode of divinity incarnate. Such a person is an ass among cows, a colossal fool. Okay, now here's from Sri Vyasadeva. The offensive mentality of considering worshipable conscious divine forms to be mundane or subordinate to mundanity must be totally abandoned. Anyone who considers the worshipable deity to be stone... Oh, this is a famous verse. Arche Vishnu Shiladir Gurushu Naramatir Vaishnave Jati Buddhir Vishnur Va Vaishnavanam Kalimala Matane Pada Tirtembu Buddhi Shri Vishnur Namni Mantre Shakala Kalushehe Shabda Samanya Buddhir Vishnu Sarveshwareshe Taritara Samadhir Yasya Va Narakisa. So that means anyone who considers the worshipable deity to be stone, who considers the Vaishnav Guru to be a mortal man, who considers a Vaishnav to be limited by the confines of caste, lineage, or creed, who considers the holy foot wash water of Lord Vishnu or a Vaishnav to be ordinary water, who considers the holy name and mantra of Lord Vishnu, which vanquish all sins, to be common sound vibration, and who considers the God of gods, Lord Vishnu, to be merely on the level of the demigods. Such a person is a diabolical devil. Diabolical devil. The Sanskrit says, Yasyava Narakisa. He is a Naraki. He is a resident of Narak, of the hellish planets. Okay. The adversity... How much more is left? Okay, let's end there and we can finish the rest tomorrow. Yeah. All right, so now let's go over the meaning of today's song. First, I'll read the translation and then we can go through each word. So Srila Bhaktivinoda-Thakur says, oops. Whatever so-called dharma exists in opposition to the edicts of bhakti, I will most carefully relinquish. I will never keep the company of those neglectful of bhakti to you, and I will never glance upon the face of persons averse to Sri Gauranga. I will never make my residence in any place that is detrimental to bhakti, and I will never develop attachment for any work that is disagreeable to bhakti. I will never read any literature that contradicts the doctrine of bhakti, and I will never hear any discourse that opposes bhakti. I do not regard any place unrelated to Sri Gauranga to be a tirtha, to be a holy place. I consider any karma or gyan that impedes bhakti to be most trivial. I never celebrate any occasion that hinders bhakti. I consider any relatives who are oblivious to bhakti to be strangers. I will give up any desires that impede bhakti. I will never accept foodstuffs given by non-devotees. Whatever I know to be unfavorable to bhakti, I will carefully forsake. This is my spoken promise. Falling at the lotus feet of the Lord, Bhaktivinoda begs for the strength to relinquish everything unfavorable to pure devotion. Okay, so this is the song we're going over today. Let's now go through all the meaning of all the words and Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's commentary. It's no wonder that contemporaries. Actually, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very close friends with Rabindranath Thakur's older brother. I forgot what his name is, but yeah, their families are really but Rabindranath Thakur, even though Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was even more prolific than Rabindranath Thakur, his writings are astounding. But you can see how Rabindranath Thakur was the one who became popular because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing so much about surrender and giving up all those things that are dear to us and like that. It's not so easy or not as attractive for conditioned souls. All right, so Haribol Chatamai Mataji. Okay, so Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla dharma jate roy. Tuwā means your. Bhakti-pratikūla, unfavorable to bhakti. So whatever is unfavorable towards bhakti to you, dharma jate roy, any kind of dharma. Jate means whatever, roy, whatever exists. Parama jatane. Parama, with most jatani, carefully, with utmost care. Taha, that's referring to Bhakti-pratikūla. That tyajibo nishchoy, that I will certainly, nishchoy means certainly, tyajibo, I will relinquish, I will give up. Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla dharma jate roy, parama jatani taha, tyajibo nishchoy. Parama jatani, with utmost care. Taha tyajibo, that I will give up. Okay, Tuwā bhakti bahirmukh, sanga nakoribo. So those who are bhakti bahirmukh, that means whose faces are turned away from bhakti, who are averse to bhakti, neglectful of bhakti. Bhakti tuwa, to you. Sanga nakoribo, I will Sangha, their association, na koribo. I will not have. I will not have their association. I will not keep their company. I will not keep the company of those who are Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla, who are averse to bhakti towards you. Gauranga Virodhi Jan. Gauranga Virodhi Jan. Virodhi Jan means those who are against, averse. So those who are averse to Gauranga Virodhi Jan, Mukha na heribo. Heribo means I will see, na heribo. I will not see their what? I will not see their face. I will not see the face. I will never glance upon the face of persons averse to Sri Gauranga. Gauranga Virodhi Jan, Mukha na heribo. So then Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj in his Lagu Chandrika Bhashya commentary, he writes about Bahirmukha Sangha. I will never associate with those who are averse. This refers to the association of those who are averse to Krishna. The extreme to which association should be abhorred is described in Katyayan Samhita. We read this verse. Varam huta vahadvala panjarantar vyavastiti na shori chintavimukha jana samvasa vaishasham. It is better to endure the pain of being locked in a cage surrounded by blazing fire than keep the distressing association of devotees averse to Krishna consciousness. Then Gauranga Virodhi. That means persons inimical to Sri Gauranga. In a Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita, verse 58, Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati writes, Vaso me varam astu Gaura dahana. Sorry, what's the meter for this? Okay. Vasu me varamastu Gaura dahana Tvalavali panjare Shri Chaitanya padara vinda vimukhair Makutra chit sangama. So in the Chaitanya Chandramrita, he says, let me remain within a cage of blazing fire, but never in the association of persons averse to Sri Chaitanya's lotus feet. Okay, now Bhakti-pratikūla stane. So stane means in places that are Bhakti-pratikūla, that are unfavorable for bhakti. Na kori vasati. I will not reside. So I will not make my residence. Vasati. Vasati means residence. Na kori. I will not make my residence. Bhaktir apriya karje nahi kori rati. So those things which are bhaktir apriya, which are not dear to bhakti, which are disagreeable to bhakti, those karya, those activities, are that work. Nahi kori rati. I will not have any attachment. I will not develop any attachment for work that is bhaktir apriya, for any karya that is bhaktir apriya. Nahi kori rati. I will not have any attachment. Bhaktir Virodhi Grantha. So remember, this word's coming again. That's against. Virod means against. So Virodhi Grantha. Books that are Virodhi, that are against bhakti. So Bhaktir Virodhi Grantha Pat na koribo. I will not read Pat na koribo. I will not read any grantha, any books that are bhaktir virodhi, that are against bhakti. And I mentioned this point yesterday, but during Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, there were no TVs and things like that. But I'm sure if he would have written this song now, he would also probably write a line for, I will not watch any any things that are bhakti virodhi. So yeah, I think watching YouTube videos, Facebook things, scrolling on Facebook, all those kinds of things will fall into this category. Bhaktir Virodhi Grantha Patana Koribo. I will never read any literature that contradicts the doctrine of bhakti. Bhaktir Virodi Vyakya Kabu na Shunibo. And any vyakya, any discourse that is Bhaktir Virodi, that is opposed to Bhakti, Kabu na, never Shunibo, I will listen. I will never listen. So in the Laghu Chandrika Bhashya, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shri Goswami Maharaj says regarding the words Bhaktir Virodi Grante, he says, which means literature that is opposed to devotion. Srila Sri Goswami Maharaj says, once when Sriman Mahaprabhu was describing his day of study to Mother Shachi Devi, he quoted the following verse from Sri Mahabharata about worldly literature. Yasmin Shastre Purane va Hari Bhaktir na drishyate Shrotavyam Naivatach Shastram Yadi Brahma Swayam Vadet. One should never hear a scripture that does not describe devotion to Hari, even if it is recited by Brahma himself, the original narrator of Vedic knowledge. Wow, that's pretty strong. Even if Lord Brahma himself is reciting it, I will not listen. If it doesn't describe devotion to Hari. Gauranga Varjita Sthan Tirtha Nahimani. That place which is Gauranga Varjita, which is which Mahaprabhu didn't go there, it has no relation to Mahaprabhu. That sthan, that place, Tirtha Nahimani, I will not consider, Nahi, not Mani, I consider, I will not regard that place, that sthan, to be a tirtha, to be a holy place. Bhaktir Badaka Gyan Karma Tucha Jani. And I know, Jani means I know that any gyan, any knowledge, or any karma, which is Bhaktir Badak, which impedes bhakti, I know that to be tucha, to be completely insignificant, trivial. Badak means obstacles. So any gyan or karma which are obstacles to bhakti, I know to be tucha, to be insignificant, useless, trivial. There is gyan and karma which is favorable. So it's not saying all gyan and karma, but it's saying specifically that gyan and karma that impedes bhakti. But that's why also in the verse Anyavilashita Shunyam it says Gyana Karma Anavratam. It's not covered by Gyana and Karma. It's not saying that's devoid of Gyana and Karma, because there's pure Gyana and pure Karma in Bhakti, but we don't want material Gyana and material Karma, material knowledge and material activities like that, undertakings. Okay, so Srila Goswami Maharaj, he writes in this point, Bhaktir Badaka Gyan Karma Tuchajani, he says, I will consider all knowledge and activity that obstructs devotion to be an obstacle. To be insignificant. I'm spacey right now. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.12, Devarshi Narad instructs Vyasadeva. He says, Naishkarmyam apyachuta bhavavarjitam Nashobate Gyanam Alam Niranjanam Kuta Puna Shashvar Abhadramishvare Nacharpitam Karma Yadapyakaranam. Even pure knowledge, even Gyan, free from all worldly entanglement, is never beautiful if it is devoid of devotion to Achyuta. How then can karma, which is always miserable, ever be beautiful if it is not offered to him, even if it is selflessly performed? Bhaktir Badak Kale Na Kori Adar. I will never celebrate, I will never have any attachment, love. Adar, I always would think of Adar as love, but let's see. Adar. Fondness, careness, appreciation, respect, reverence, honor, esteem. Okay. So I will never have that for any for any time that is bhaktir badak, that hinders bhakti, that's an obstacle to bhakti. So that refers to any holiday, like any holiday that doesn't have any, like, I guess Christmas can be, if people are actually thinking of, like, talking about Jesus Christ and like that, then that could be favorable. But usually holidays like Christmas is all about consuming things, or like it's completely mundane. And yeah, so any kind of occasion that hinders bhakti, I will never celebrate. Na kori adar. I consider any relatives who are oblivious to bhakti to be strangers. Bhakti bahirmukh, who are turned away from bhakti, who are oblivious to bhakti. Nija jane, to be my own people. Jani para, I know them to be para, like, what do we say? Strangers, others. Unknown, inimical, distant, remote. Then bhaktir badika spriha. So those desires which are bhaktir badika, which hinder bhakti, koribo varjana, I will give them up. Koribo varjana, I will reject them. Abhakta pradatta anna na kori grahana. So that anna, that food, those grains, which are abhakta pradatta, which were given by abhakta, non-devotees, na kori grahana, I will not accept. Or, I mean, if you're in a situation where somebody's giving you something like that who is not a devotee like that, then you can accept it just to be polite, but it doesn't mean you don't need to consume it. Jaha kichu bhakti-pratikūla boli jani. So jaha kichu, whatever jani I know to be bhakti-pratikūla, tyajibo, I will give that up. Jatane. Taha means that. I will give up that bhakti-pratikūla. Jatane. Very carefully. I'll very carefully give it up. E nishchoy vani. This is my vani. This is my word. This is my promise. And e nishchoy vani. This is my spoken promise. This is my firm promise that I will carefully forsake anything, jaha kichu, whatever is bhakti-pratikūla, whatever is unfavorable to bhakti. Okay, then Bhaktivinoda Puri Prabhur Charane. Bhaktivinoda Puriya, having fallen at Prabhur Charane, at the Lord's feet. Magaye Shakati. He begs, Magaye. He begs for what? He begs for Shakti, for the power, for the strength to pratikulyar varjane, to give up, to reject, to relinquish all the things that are pratikul, that are unfavorable to bhakti. Alright, so that is the breakdown of the words. Now let's sing the kirtan and then we will conclude our program. What time is it? Oh my god, I'm over time anyways. We'll just be like, take 5 minutes to sing this, so we'll be 8 minutes over time today. Sorry about that. Should I sing it in the same melody as I sang yesterday, or should I do a different melody? Maybe I'll do a different melody just to... What would be a good melody? I'll just do the same melody. Okay. Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla dhārma jate roy, parama jatane taha tyajibo nishchoy. Tuwā Bhakti-pratikūla dhārma jate roy, parama jatane taha tyajibo nishchoy. তুয়া ভক্তি বাহির্মুখ সঙ্গ না করিব গৌরাঙ্গ বিরোধী জন মুখ না হেরিব তুয়া ভক্তি বাহির্মুখ সঙ্গ না করিব গৌরাঙ্গ বিরোধী জন মুখ না হেরিব ভক্তি প্রতিকূল স্থানে না করিব সতি ভক্তির অপ্রিয় কার্যে নাহি করি রতি ভক্তি প্রতিকূল স্থানে না করিব সতি ভক্তির অপ্রিয় কার্যে নাহি করি রতি ভক্তির বিরোধী গ্রন্থ পাঠ না করিব ভক্তির বিরোধী ব্যাখ্যা কবু না শুনিব ও ভক্তির বিরোধী গ্রন্থ পাঠ না করিব ভক্তির বিরোধী ব্যাখ্যা কবু না শুনিব গৌরাঙ্গ বর্জিত স্থান তীর্থ নাহি মানি ভক্তির পাদক জ্ঞান কর্ম তুচ্ছ জানি গৌরাঙ্গ বর্জিত স্থান তীর্থ নাহি মানি ভক্তির পাদক জ্ঞান কর্ম তুচ্ছ জানি ভক্তির পাদক কালে না করি আদার ভক্তি বাহির্মুখ নিজ জানে জানি পর ভক্তির পাদক কালে না করি আধার ভক্তি বাহির্মুখ নিজ জানে জানি পর ভক্তির বাদিক স্পৃহা করিব বর্জনা অভক্ত প্রদত্ত অন্ন না করি গ্রহণ ভক্তির বাদিক স্পৃহা করিব বর্জনা অভক্ত প্রদত্ত অন্ন না করি গ্রহণ যাহা কিছু ভক্তি প্রতিকূল বলি জানে ত্যাজিব যতনে তাহা এ নিশ্চয় বাণী যাহা কিছু ভক্তি প্রতিকূল বলি জানে ত্যাজিব যতনে তাহা এ নিশ্চয় বাণী ভক্তি বিনোর পরি প্রভুর চরণে মাগায়ে শকতি প্রতিকূলের বর্জনে ভক্তি বিনোর পরি প্রভুর চরণে মাগায়ে শকতি প্রতিকূলের বর্জনে ভক্তি বিনোর পরি প্রভুর চরণে ভক্তি বিনোর পরি প্রভুর চরণে মাগায়ে শকতি প্রতিকূলের বর্জনে ও মাগায়ে শকতি প্রতিকূলের বর্জনে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম রাম হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম রাম হরে হরে নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি Shachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swapar Ji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti, all the Śaraṇāgati Kirtans of Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, His Kalyana Kalpataru, Gitavali and Gitamala Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashita, Krishna Bhakti Padadevi, Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta, Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Sorry for going a bit over time today. Does anybody have any comments or, yeah, anything they want to say? Yes, Chatamai Mataji.
Haribol, just saying thank you. What a lovely, lovely sentiment to be wanting to purify our lives of those things that are opposing to our sadhana. Very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this would be a nice thing to sing on Akadashi, I think, especially. Like we sing Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu. That's and I think this would be another nice thing. It's kind of similar. It's, I mean, Shuddha Bhakata is all the favorable things, and then this is rejecting all the unfavorable things. So it kind of makes it
Okay.
complete.
Okay. Good to know.
I don't know. It's just
Thank
a nice,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. I want to thank you too, Madhukar Prabhu. Sorry, I'm outside in the street. And I was just reminded, I was remembering that Bhakti and Vairagya, they're the children of Bhakti. I mean, the
Gyan and Vairagya,
Jnana and Vairagya are the children of Bhakti. So it was important what you mentioned, that we should know the difference, that Jnana that is taking us away, and the Jnana that is bringing us as a favorable thing for Bhakti, that type of Jnana. That's helpful.
Yeah, no, it's true. And just like in a really practical way, it's very difficult just to focus on rejecting things. We definitely have to give some attention to rejecting things, but we should give more focus to accepting the favorable things. And so, like then it's rejecting the unfavorable things is automatic almost. Yeah. And so the more we engage in this process of bhakti, the more we're especially being in association with devotees and like that, then giving up all these things is just automatic. You don't need to actually make an endeavor. You don't, like, once you hear beautiful Harikatha and you feel inspiration, then you don't want to read any non-devotional books. You don't want to do any of these things.
Or their association of. Yeah.
But still, we do have, like, speaking for myself, I'm not at that level where I have so much taste and attraction for all these devotional things, and so I do have to be aware, and I do have to give attention. Yeah, I know must give this up, but we should give. Yeah, but we can't just do one or the other.
Yeah, it's just intricate and subtle. Because actually, if you think, well, Vairagya and Gyan are children of Bhakti, but then we're not bogis or tyagis. And so we have to discriminate, use some good intelligence.
Yes.
Study.
Yes.
Thank you, Madhukar Prabhu. Pranams to everybody.
Hare Krishna.
And Shyamali, don't forget.
Well, actually, I'm in Mayapur right now, but yeah, she's
yeah, I could tell the background that you're in Mayapur. Haribol.
Haribol. Shubhananda Prabhu, did you have anything you wanted to share? No, okay.
Haribol Rinapram Prabhu, thank you for this reading. I just remember some past time recently I heard about Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur or Param Gurudev. And the conclusion, I just remember the conclusion. The conclusion of reading any Shastric books is to know what is Pratikula and what is Anukula only. This was the conclusion of the pastime. It happened with Sri Gurudev and Sri Param Gurudev.
Ah, very nice. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I think always just having that thought in our head, will this please my Gurudev or will this displease him? That's the way to think about it, really. It's
Discriminatory.
yeah,
Also, the one point you mentioned, which was like we have to more focus on what is anukul, what we can contribute, what we can do actually. That will definitely help. This is the practice of many Vaidya, practicing Vaidya also, where because in treatment part also there are very do's and don'ts. And if you give some list of don'ts, big list of don'ts, then generally patient get confused. So many times some Vaidya practice that they just give this what you have to do only. Apart from that, everything else is you have to avoid. You just do you just eat this only, and everything else you don't need to ask even. So they just mention what is mentioned, that is okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very, very nice point. Yes. Yes. All right. So we will end our session for today. And what's the song for tomorrow? Let's just look very quickly. I think tomorrow is Vishaya Vimura Ar Mayavadi Janyal. So this is what we'll be, tomorrow we'll be focusing on the topic of Mayavad. Both those, I'll just read the translation just so we get a preview. Both those bewildered by sensual indulgence and those who are adherents of Mayavad are devoid of bhakti. They maintain their lives without purpose. May I never fall into the company of these two kinds of people, O Lord. This is my prayer at your feet. Among these two, however, the sense enjoyer is better. Never, at any time, do I seek the company of Mayavadis. Upon obtaining sadhu sangha, the heart of the sense enjoyer naturally attains bhakti by the grace of the devotee. When the defect of Mayavad infiltrates one's heart, the heart becomes as hard as a thunderbolt due to exposure to fallacious arguments. The Mayavadis all say that the nature of bhakti, the object of bhakti, Sri Krishna, and the reservoir of bhakti, the devotee, culminating in Sri Radha, they say that they are temporary. Fie on their service to Krishna, diktara Krishna seva. Fie on their service to Krishna and their hearing and chanting. Their praises are like thunderbolts striking the body of Sri Krishna. There is nothing as contrary to bhakti as Mayavad. Therefore, I wish to have nothing to do with any Mayavadi. Keeping Mayavad at a distance, Bhaktivinoda remains in the association of the Vaishnavas and takes shelter of Sri Nam. So that's what we'll be going through tomorrow. Wow, very strong kirtan. All right. So also, if anybody has anything on this topic of Mayavad that they would like to share, I'm not getting much time to prepare for these classes, so it's very helpful also if anybody has anything to share on these topics. Yeah, I mean, I'll try to find something, but I'll probably end up like looking the last 10 minutes like I did today. So, yeah. All right. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribol. Oh, wait, and let me just check really quickly. Yes, Shubhananda Prabhu, yes.
For tomorrow's Śaraṇāgati song, we can refer to Jaiva Dharma, maybe chapter 2nd, I think. I just recently heard about it, and it mentions about the subtle differences, what actually Shankaracharya put, at which level he agrees and beyond which level we disagree. Rather, Vaishnava and this Shankara followers, how they...
Okay. Yeah, great.
Up to which level they are accepting something, after which they are. Jaiva Dharma, I think
because we do have something in common. We accept all the way up to the point of liberation. Well, no, the Mayavadis are different though, because they say that Krishna comes under, Krishna is subordinate to Maya. But on many points we do agree. So yeah, okay, great. We can read that from Jaiva Dharma. Great suggestion. Thank you. And maybe also there's a book, Beyond Nirvana. Well, it's called Vaishnava Vijay by my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivinoda-gīti-dhārā Goswami Maharaj, Mayavadi Ki Jivani. And that, I haven't read that book, but my friend Anita, she told me that she said it's actually a real page turner. She said stayed up the whole. She read it all in one sitting because it was so fascinating. I thought that was interesting. Usually I find this topic really boring, but somehow my Param Gurudev made it really interesting. So, yeah. So maybe we can read something from that as well. Yeah, and tomorrow is Ekadashi here in India also, Sarveshwari Mataji. Tomorrow is Ekadashi, and then in 5 days from now, it will be Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj's 37th disappearance day.
Yes. Very good.
Hi. Right. Hare Krishna. Pranams, Gavin Myers, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Sarveshwari Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Sri Devi Didi, Archana Mataji, Champak Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji. Wait, no, they left already. Okay, and there's Vidyalalasa Didi, Rupmanjari Didi, Rasaraj Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, and Nitai. Oh wow, today's Nitai's birthday on the Vaishnav calendar. Jai, Nitai! Haribol. Great. Wonderful. Okay, so Rup Manjari's asking everybody to please bless her little boy, Nitai, today on his birthday. Jai. Haribol Raseshwari Mataji. And and it said pride of place. I didn't understand that term, but she says it means it's the premier thing. The first thing, the flagship thing. Okay, I have never heard that term before. That's why I didn't recognize it. Okay, cool. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow. Haribol Nitai.